I understand that, but she's not listening. You got it. Get back or you're going to jail. Back up. Back up. Get back.
What you see here is our living space for the People's City. We have lots and lots of different folks from different backgrounds who are here. I'll tell you something funny, black people actually do not camp that much. We don't camp that much, so this is one of my first times actually staying in a tent in probably over 15 years. Policing originated where it was slave patrol. So from its very inception, it was racialized. When I was 15 years old, I got stopped by the police and they ran up to my car and put a gun to the window. And this is not an unusual occurrence if you're a black person. Very first demand, as I mentioned, is to fire Police Chief Rick Smith. The second demand is to fire Officer Newton. And lastly, we want that 50% divestment from the Kansas City Police Department, and we want to reinvest that into the black community, into life-affirming institutions, so that people can live with dignity, so that people can have jobs and employment and housing and be able to feed their families. People think it's a radical idea to talk about defunding the police, but they never think about the fact that we've been defunding education. We've been defunding affordable housing. We're talking about a presence and not an absence. We're talking about a presence of life-affirming institutions. And what I mean by life-affirming institutions are institutions that actually do reduce crime rates. Their job is way too broad in order to be able to be successful at what they do. Police and policing shouldn't be the answer to every type of social problem.
So, boots.
Boots. You needed a winter coat, and then this is her bag with hygiene and everything, right?
Yep.
And then she needed sheets for the new bed.
Sheets. Yep. I also brought you some more hygiene stuff from Giving the Basics.
Great.
So there's shampoo, soap, deodorant, razors, everything that you can think of.
Those things are so necessary when you think they're not.
Yes.
I'm just overwhelmed. I'm not a crybaby, but I so appreciate it.
I think having social services embedded in a police department is priceless. You know, we've gone to school for a long time to do what we do. So for us to be able to have those community resources available to law enforcement at the time of need, or to take high calls for service and reduce those by just going over and meeting with families and finding out why, you know, they're calling 911 so much. It frees time up to officers to respond to other calls quicker. It's win-win. It's win for the community when they need help right away, and it's win for the officers because it reduces calls for service and it builds that trust. Got you some hair products. Got you a sassy bag.
She basically helped me save my life, really. That she's doing a really good job. Most of the officers, you know, that's what they chosen to protect and serve. You know, I've had a lot of run-ins with officers that, you know, that's not what they planned on doing. I am a little bit more trusting because Trina let me know that it's all kinds of departments in the police station. They are people who chose that lifestyle to help. With her being in the bunch, hopefully she'll keep the balance.
The uniform, unfortunately, is intimidating, and my presence initially does make them uncomfortable. And then once I come back a time or two with Trina, then it's just, oh, it's Brandon. I'm building trust back in us just by guilty by association from being with her.
It's definitely nice to have an officer with us. A lot of times though, we can de-escalate situations really quick because again, we show up in jeans and a t-shirt and they're like, hey, here's, you know, we're not the law enforcement officer, we're the social part of it. People don't know where to actually go or how to get connected to stuff, and it just takes a minute to educate them or give them the tools or the resources to say, here's where you can go, and then to follow up and make sure they're not having any problems getting connected to those services. Piece of cake.
The system of policing is so rooted in racism, is so rooted in white supremacy to its core, that to try to reform it means that you're telling people that there's something that is reformable about the institution itself. You know, I'm interested in, and certainly interested in, reallocation into mental health initiatives, into special projects for mental health, into after-school programs, into education, into housing, affordable housing. And until we dismantle the system of policing that currently exists, anything that involves partnering with the police in order to do those initiatives, I am not in favor of, because then that further legitimizes this idea of policing.